Right, welcome everybody to this Polar Cloud how-to. In this video, I'm going to take you through how dashboards work. I'm going to give you a very high level on how to create a new dashboard, how to reference the various tags that you have on your sites to that dashboard, and also how to share that dashboard amongst other people. So to start off with, I'm going to go into the dashboards. We've obviously got none here. I'm going to say create a new dashboard, and I'm going to call it test dashboard 1. And I'm going to just create a dashboard. So now we'll see that we've got no widgets on this dashboard. So what I'm going to do is, yes, we can click on the click to add widgets, but once you already have widgets on here, the best way to do it is to actually click on this enable edit mode in the top right. We can now click and add a widget here, or alternatively, we'll click on the add widget in the top right. That'll then bring up a window where I can choose what kind of widget we want to add to the dashboard. So there's a number of different types of widgets. So for this one, I'm going to do a basic add a data tile. So from that data tile, I want to represent a data tile essentially on the actual dashboard here. So I'm going to choose which site it's coming from. I want to take it from site 1. I'm going to choose our device that we referenced in previous videos, and I'm going to choose one of the readings that I want to bring from that device. So now I've got an analog input reading. I want to read this reading as a live reading, and I'm going to just display it as a value. We can then manipulate this info a little bit. I can choose whether I want to show a graph in the background. Obviously this device just turned on and it'll show us a little view of that. And finally, I can always add a little header. So I can say analog input here, and I can say show header, and you'll see that it'll put a header there. I also have the option to change a bit of colors if I want to. All right, so when I click save, we'll see that that'll now add that reading. So what's really cool about this custom dashboarding section is that it doesn't matter what site it's from, or what device it's from, or what gateway it's from. As long as your account has access to those, you will be able to add those tiles onto a dashboard and create your own setup. So what's really nice again is that we can now manipulate this. We can drag it into different sizes. We can put it into different positions. And once you're done, we can obviously add a second tile or a second graph or charts or whatever you want, and you can add as many of them on this dashboard as you want. There is also a tabbing option where I can add a new tab, right? That I can now have a fresh tab that I can have that with you or the clients can now click through that. And once you've done everything that you need to do, we're just going to click on Save Changes. And now we'll see that it's closed. Tab 2 had nothing on it. Tab 1's got our analog input. And finally, you're going to want to share this with either a single user or a group. So if you are the owner of the dashboard, you can come into the top right here, the share dashboard function. And you'll see it'll open up with what users have permissions. I can add a specific user. Important to note that obviously this user still has to have access to that group or site that you've been referencing the devices from, or it will show no information on the actual widgets themselves. Alternatively, you can share it with an entire group so that if new users come onto that group down the line, they will also then have access to this dashboard. So I'm going to say anybody on this client 1 dashboard needs to have access, and I want their permission to be read only so that they can't edit it. I'll now add that group, and anybody that is part of group client 1, when they log into the platform, they will see that dashboard and they will have this in their drop-down list. All right, final one that we can talk about here quickly is that this dashboard can auto refresh, especially when you're doing live values, and that you simply go on here and click how often you want it to auto refresh. It'll then tell you when last it did refresh here as well. And if you're doing more historical type readings, if you click on the today button, it'll bring up a date range picker that you can choose what date range you want to display on the dashboard, which is really nice for totalizers and historical type readings. Obviously, we've just set up this device for the first time. So this is displaying a live reading now, and our latest reading was 4 milliamps. And that is the basics around the dashboard.